Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Culture and Geography. I wanted to start by doing a little bit of a review of what we've kind of gone over so far. It's a lot different teaching you this way over the computer without access to our beautiful maps and materials in the classroom. But when we started our Culture and Geography classroom, we started with the continents and took a kind of global perspective. And then we moved around the world and talked about some countries that have been affected by COVID-19. And then we moved to the United States and talked a little bit about the history of North America, with Native Americans being here first, and then European settlers coming over and forming towns, and ultimately the 13 colonies. And then those colonies came together and organized and formed a new country free from British rule, and that became the United States of America. And that revolution was led by George Washington, who became our first president. And then we also read a book about Abraham Lincoln, who was also an important president because he helped end slavery. I want to talk today a little bit about what happened in the mid-1850s to 1880s when people started exploring west and traveling in covered wagons to settle in the newly purchased land under the Louisiana Purchase during Thomas Jefferson's presidency. He was our third president, and he acquired a huge tract of land during the Louisiana Purchase west of the Mississippi River, and it was explored and slowly it was settled, but the majority of people started heading west in covered wagons around the 1850s. And our favorite character to do so is Laura Ingalls Wilder, and she wrote about her childhood experiences traveling west in a covered wagon. Now, I've read Little House on the Prairie out loud to our class several times, but today I wanted to share with you the picture book version of Going West so that all of our friends of all ages can enjoy it. So here is Laura Ingalls Wilder and her family in their covered wagon, and everybody knows who was underneath the wagon: the little bulldog Jack. Going West by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Once upon a time, a little girl named Laura lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little house made of logs. Laura lived in the little house with her pa, her ma, her big sister Mary, her baby sister Carrie, and their good old bulldog Jack. Many people had come to live in the big woods. Almost every day, Laura and Mary stopped their playing to look in surprise at a wagon slowly creaking by. Wild animals would not stay in a place where there were so many people. Pa did not want to stay either. He liked places where wild animals could live without being afraid. He liked to see the deer looking at him from the shadowy woods and the fat, lazy bears eating berries in the wild berry patches. One long winter evening, Pa told Ma that he was going to take the family to live in the West. In the West, there were not as many people. There were no trees, and the grass grew thick and high. So Pa sold the little house in the big woods. He sold the cow and the calf too. Pa made hickory boughs and fastened them to the wagon. Ma helped him stretch white canvas over the bow to make a covered wagon for the family to travel in. Then they packed up everything in the little house, except for the beds and tables and chairs. They did not need to take these because Pa could always make new ones. Then one morning, before it was even light outside, Ma gently shook Mary and Laura until they woke up. Laura and Mary put on their long red flannel underwear, their wool petticoats and wool dresses, and their long wool stockings. Next, they put on their coats, their rabbit skin hoods, and their red yarn mittens. Outside the little house there was snow on the ground, and the air was still and cold and dark. Through the gray woods came lanterns with wagons and horses, bringing Grandma and Grandpa and aunts and uncles and cousins. Mary and Laura held on tightly to their dolls and did not say a word. Grandma and the aunts hugged and kissed them and hugged them, saying goodbye. The uncles helped Pa hitch the horses to the wagon. All the cousins were told to kiss Laura and Mary, and so they did. Then Pa picked up Mary and Laura and set them in the wagon. He helped Ma climb up onto the wagon seat, and Grandma reached up and gave her baby Carrie. Off went the wagon, and the little house in the big woods stayed inside the log fence behind the big trees that Mary and Laura liked to play under, and that was the last they saw of their little house. The family had a long journey ahead of them, but Pa was on the wagon seat, and Jack was under the wagon, and Laura felt happy knowing they were on their way to another little house, a little house out on the western prairie. A song that we always sing during circle time when we study about Kansas and the people who traveled west in covered wagons is the Kansas state song, Home on the Range. And it talks about the beautiful prairie where the buffalo used to roam. A few of them are back today, but there used to be large herds roaming the great prairie, and that's where this song came from. So I hope you'll join me in singing one of our favorite songs today, Home on the Range. Ready? Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.